Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make one of my favorite jams, which is pineapple jam. Walmart had some pineapples on sale for $1, so I grabbed 6 of them. I'm going to be using 2 in this recipe today, and I'm going to show you how to make it. It's really easy, 2 ingredients, and you're going to love it. Now make sure you have all of your canning stations set up. I got all my jars, they're starting to heat up. I'm turn those up actually. I have water, some my lids and stuff, and my vinegar solution for wiping down, and I have my jam pot. And then this is what you're gonna need is pineapples. Now this is, I'm doubling this recipe. You could cut this in half and just do a single. I'm doing double because I like this recipe a lot. So I'm gonna use 2 pineapples and 6 cups of sugar. Okay, and you're gonna need either a blender or immersion blender. I got mine on clearance. Actually, not clearance. I got it at a thrift store because these can be pretty pricey, but I got it for cheap, which was a great deal. I'm going to cut these pineapples. I'm going to take all of the outside off, and I'm going to take the eyes out. But these are the only 2 ingredients you need. All right, I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut these. I'm just going to cut the tops and bottoms off and then start slicing the side. Now I have a strawberry core. Works great for the little pits that are still left in this, the little eyes. This is amazing. Get yourself one. They're cheap. They work great. And have a trash bucket if you need one. Walmart had these for $1 on clearance, so I grabbed a ton of them. These are medium pineapples. So I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just going to start running it around the edge. I try to get all the eyes, but it doesn't always work. Sometimes there's still some left. And then I take the core. And any eyes that are left, like this little guy, come back. Just take them out, okay? Super easy. And then I'm going to core this in a second. If that would come out. Doesn't want to. You just go around the whole pineapple and get all the eyes off. Alright, now that I got all of the stuff out of it, okay, I put on gloves to make sure none of my nail polish chipped off onto this while I was doing it. But now we're going to have to cut the core out. You can see the core right there. What I usually do is I try to find the fattest side and I just go straight down by it. And then I'll do that's a big core, but and then I put it to the side. Now what you're going to do is you're going to chop this up in small to medium chunks, okay? Because you're going to use the blender on them, but you don't want really huge pieces. Just keep chopping it up. Make sure you take the core out. If you have, sometimes there's a little bit of core in the sides, you just take your knife and cut the sides, but this doesn't have any core in it. I got it all out. Just chop it up, okay? Medium pieces. So I got my 2 pineapples in here. I'm just going to dump them in the pan. Technically I could do another one. Another one might be okay, but I'm just going to do the 2 for this one. I have 12 jars in here, but I know I'm not going to use all of them. I always do extra, you never know, but I have the 6 cups of sugar that needs to go in here. Remember, if you want to cut this in half, it's 1 medium to large. You can even use a large pineapple, and 3 cups of sugar. So I'm going to bring this not to a boil, but I'm going to start getting it on medium to medium high heat and start letting it cook down a little bit, and I'm going to throw the sugar in and let that dissolve, and then I'll blend it all up. Starting to simmer at the bottom, I can hear it, so I'm going to dump in about half of the sugar and then stir it around and let it melt a little, and then dump the rest in. That is melting down, dump the rest in, and then just keep stirring it until all the sugar is melted, okay? Just keep going until it's melted, and then also all the pineapples are warm. Sometimes you'll see the seeds floating in there. You can just pick it out. I know it's not going to hurt nothing. See how it's starting to melt? Just keep stirring until all that sugar is dissolved. Okay, once it's mostly melted inside, I'm going to take my immersion blender. You can use a regular blender, just I would go slow. I wouldn't let it blend for a long time, or else you won't have any chunks. Unless you don't want chunks, then that's even better for you. But I want a little bit of chunk in there, and I'm just going to take it, and this might be a little loud. Take it and just go around to the big pieces, and I'm just going to chop them up, and I'll stir it up afterwards and see what I still need to blend. Okay. All right, so I did the first round, and I see I have big chunks still. Let's see. So I'm going to get rid of the really big chunks. I just want little chunks in there. And just keep going. Now the foam is going to form on the top. Don't worry about that. Okay. So I see some seeds in there. I'll get them out. But see how I have some chunks? Not really big chunks. I just wanted a couple in there. I'm going to try to pick out all the seeds. And what you're going to do is let this come to a boil. But you have to stand here and stir it. Don't go away from it. You don't want to scorch this. It smells amazing. Just keep stirring it, okay? And take out the seeds if you want to. Alright, you see the color of it. It's bright yellow. I'm going to try to get it to cook down until we have some color to this. And I'm going to let it, once I get it up to boiling, I'm going to let it boil for about a minute, and then I'm going to turn it down to about medium, and I'm going to let it keep cooking for probably about 15 minutes. Alright, now it's started boiling, and I'm going to let it boil hard for about a minute, and then I'm going to turn it down and stir it. Like I said, about 15 minutes, I'm going to let it simmer and keep stirring it. See how the color's darkened? You can see a lot of foam around the edges. I'm going to skim that off, so don't worry about it. See how the color's deeper now? It's really nice. Once you get to that point, I'm going to bring it back up to a full boil again. And you can even go darker on this if you wanted to, but this is how I like it. I'm going to turn it back to a full boil until it gets to the gelling point. So I'm going to turn it all the way back up. Remember, stay there and watch it and stir it often, okay? Okay, it's been boiling hard for about 5 minutes. It's almost to the gelling point. If you have a candy thermometer, you can use that, but it's not necessary. Just boil it really hard for about 5 minutes and stir it. 5 to 6 minutes and stir it every so often. Have everything ready. I have these ready to go. I have my water in the back. I'm about to dump it in here, and this is my vinegar solution to wipe the rims. And this goes fast once you get past this point. The cooking point takes the longest. So this one is almost done, and then I'm going to start jarring it up. Look at that color. Look how pretty it is. Now I'm going to take, while it's calming down a little bit, I'm going to take a spoon. If you've watched any of my videos, you've seen me do this before. I'm going to get the foam out. It technically doesn't hurt anything in your jars. I don't like it in my jars, so I take it out every single time. I don't like the sponginess of it. I think I took out a chunk of pineapple. How sad. Just keep scraping the edge and get it all out. Okay, I moved my canning station over here so I could show you it. Started storming and it went dark on me. See how much better it looks with most of the foam off? I dumped the hot water in, both of these, and the vinegar. That's the vinegar. This is just hot water for my lids and bands. I'm going to do 4 at a time. You don't have to do 4 at a time. Just do what you can. Do 1 at a time. And then keep moving and going down the line. Alright. So what I'm going to do, so you can see it starting to gel already. I'm going to put them in the jars. Now each jar needs 1/4 of an inch headspace. Every single jar. Some of it might be over, but I'll take some out if it goes over. It's not a big deal. Let's see if I can. That was a little over, I can tell. It's okay. Just keep going. We'll wipe the rims. Move this closer. There we go. That's better. I'm telling you, this pineapple jam is my favorite. I'm taking the recipe out of the Ball Blue Book. It is amazing on toast, or if you want to put some in a little bowl and heat it up and put it over vanilla ice cream. Oh, that's my favorite way to eat it. It's delicious. So I'm going to check the headspace on all these. We want 1/4 of an inch. Remember, it's this first one right here. And that one's actually perfect. That one's a little over. That one's low. That one's low. Now, if I have some that's just a little over, I'll get a spoon. Now it's perfect. So these two are perfect. And the other two, I'll try to do it carefully. Fill them back up to 1/4 of an inch. It's usually the little first line, but I just like to make sure. That one's a little over. That one's fine. This one's got a tad over. So I'm going to take out a little spoonful. Okay, now that I have my jars right here, I have these. Someone asked about these in a different video. This is it's 100% cotton tea towel. You can find them at different places. I got mine at Roll King, but also I found them at Sam's. I'm sure that some of the other stores have them too. Now you're going to wipe the rim with that solution and make sure you get it really good. Turn it inside out if you have to, okay? If it gets really dirty, turn it inside out. Alright, I got the lids on all those. I pulled out some bands. Remember, fingertip tight, okay? Oh, that's so hot. So, put it on. When you start feeling resistance, stop. I mean, you don't stop right there. If you can turn it like this, it's not tight enough. Turn it, do like a half of a turn. If it's showing resistance, stop. And you're going to do that for all of them. If you put the lids on too tight, your lids later, the bands on too tight, your lids later will buckle. Always will buckle if you put them too tight. These are all ready. I'm going to put them back in the canner and get some more. Alright, I put my last jar in. I got 8 jars out of those 2 pineapples and 6 cups of sugar. I'm going to turn it all the way high. And I'm going to put the lid on. And you're going to let this come to a complete boil, a rolling boil, and then we're going to set our timer for 15 minutes. And then I'm going to let it sit in the canner. I'm going to turn it off, let it sit in the canner for 5 minutes, and then take them out. Remember, this is for my altitude where I live in Tennessee. You guys may have a different one where if you live in a higher elevation, you are going to need to add time to it. It depends on where you're at, and you have to look it up by your zone. But for me, it's 15 minutes cook time, and then 5 minutes sitting in the canner. Rolling boil, 15 minutes. 5-minute timer went off. Remember, Don't tip your jars. The water will come off. I promise. It'll evaporate off. Wherever you put it, leave it there until the next day, about 24 hours. Let it sit, and tomorrow I'll take off the bands and check the seals. Did you hear that one go down? Alright guys, it's the next day. I took off the bands and I checked all the seals. Remember to push down and then also tug on the lid. If you canned this correctly, processed it correctly, it won't come off. Make sure they're all that way. And I wipe down my jars. I do that every time just in case there's residue. Look at that. Pretty jam. Remember, don't store them with your bands. Okay guys, so that's the end. Remember, only 2 ingredients. It's really easy. They're not hard. This is delicious. Put it on some toast, peanut butter and jelly. Also, my favorite way is to eat it warmed up on ice cream, vanilla ice cream. It's delicious. And I had someone comment on another video that I repeat a lot of stuff, but I made this channel to help people learn how to can and guard it and do other things that maybe they've never done it before. And sometimes when it's only said once, people forget. So sometimes you'll hear me repeating myself. It's just to help put it in your brain, or newbies' brains when they're learning how to can or do other things. It's just to help. It's to teach. So go out there and make some jam, and I'll see you guys next time. Guys, I want to show you my loofah. This is what the loofah vine looks like. This is what loofah flowers look like. I want to show you. Here's a little baby loofah.